Let us start Spark context using Spark Session. Spark Session is nothing but a class that is part of PySpark.sql package. It is a wrapper on top of Spark context. When Spark application is submitted using Spark Submit or Spark Shell or PySpark, a web service called as Spark context will be created. Spark context maintains the context of all the jobs that are submitted until it is killed. Spark Session is nothing but a wrapper on top of Spark context. When we create Spark Session object, it will automatically create the Spark context as well for us if it doesn't exist. We need to first create Spark Session object with any name, which will also create Spark context for us, but the name is typically Spark. Once it is created, several APIs will be exposed, including read, so that we can actually read the data from the files. We need to at least set application name and also specify the execution mode in which Spark context should run while creating Spark Session object. We can use app name to specify name for the application and master to specify the execution mode. Below is this sample code snippet which will start the Spark Session object for us. Let's import Spark Session from PySpark.sql. Make sure the kernel is PySpark 2 if you are using our environment. If you are using your environment on top of Python 3, you might have to install PySpark and you should be able to launch the Spark Session from PySpark.sql like this. Now you should be able to run this, and let's validate the username here. So this is the user using which I have logged in into the system. Now you can actually run this to create the Spark Session object by name Spark. So the syntax is Spark Session .builder dot then you can actually directly say app name master and then get or create. As part of the master, you can either say local or yarn or a few additional options. As our cluster is integrated with yarn and MapReduce, here we are specifying as yarn. If you are running on your local system, you might have to say local. Depending upon where you are running, which cluster mode the Spark is going to run, you have to specify that as part of the master. But for our environment, it has to be master yarn. For local Spark setup, it has to be local. And then app name will actually take the name of the application. It is useful to troubleshoot the issues using Spark. You need to be a bit diligent to generate the app name dynamically. For now, we are saying the username using which I am logged in, pipe Python data processing overview. This is how I am actually specifying the application name. On top of these three function calls on builder, we also can override several properties like this. So in this case, we are using config spark.ui.port 0 to actually get a random port number while creating the Spark Session object for us. The default port number is 4040. If you do not specify this, it will start the Spark context with 4040. If there are more than 16 users who are using the Spark context without specifying the port number, it will actually take 4040 to 4055, and then it will start failing, saying retries exceeded. The default configuration is 16 retries. Once it reaches 16 retries, it will start failing. To overcome that issue in our environment, which is a multi-tenant environment, we are overriding this property. But if you are running locally, or if you are working as part of the project, and if you are submitting Spark jobs, and if you have to build Spark Session object, you don't need to use this that often. But if you have to, you can use it like this. Also, on top of it, we want to use Hive Metastore to interact and manage the tables using Spark related APIs. For that, we have to say enable Hive support. In some cases, it might be default and you don't need to specify like this. But in our case, as we have to run queries against Hive Metastore tables and databases, we have to use this enable Hive support so that we can directly interact with Hive Metastore database and tables using Spark related APIs. Also, as ours is a multi-tenant environment, we want to provide an isolated database for each and every user with isolated warehouse directory. This is how we are taking care of it. For now, just make sure add these three function calls on top of app name master before using get or create, so that the object is created for you without any issues if you are using our labs. If you are using your own environment, you might not have to use these things, or you might have to tweak little bit depending upon the nature of your cluster and take it further. If you are running it locally, you just have to say master local. You might not have to be worried too much about these things, and you should be able to start this Spark session with name Spark like this. Now let me run this. It should run without any issues. If you are interested in creating this Spark object using CLI, especially with PySpark, this is how you should be able to take care of this. You can say PySpark2 -- master yarn, then -- conf spark UI.port equal to 0, then -- conf spark SQL warehouse directory equal to /user/$user/warehouse. It will take care of creating this Spark context with Python, with warehouse directory being pointed to the specific warehouse directory for the user logged in. Let me copy this and then go to terminal, and let me run and ensure that we are able to get into PySpark CLI as well. Here I am pasting it and now running it. It will take care of launching this in a moment. Now let's see this. This is successfully run. You can validate by saying Spark like this. You can see Spark is of type Spark session. As part of the terminal, PySpark CLI is launched. You can see the details here. Spark major version is set to 2 because we are using something called as PySpark2 in our cluster. PySpark2 is pointed to Spark2. PySpark is pointed to Spark 1.6. That being said, you can see the version of Spark here. It is nothing but 2.3.0. Also, Spark session is available as Spark directly. We don't need to worry too much about creating this Spark session object. If you are using CLI, it will be taken care for us. You can actually just type Spark and hit enter. You will be able to get the type of this Spark, which is nothing but Spark session. It also gives us something called as SC, which is of type Spark context. Using this Spark object, we should be able to invoke the APIs that are relevant to create the data frames, either from files or collections or RDD, or even from other types of sources. These are the two different ways where we can actually launch Spark context. However, the terminal is more relevant to CCA 175 exam. Beyond CCA 175 exam, for all other practical purposes, we get notebook type of environments in one way or the other. On top of Jupyter based environment, we also have something called as Zeppelin, also Databricks notebooks, etc., which are similar to Jupyter notebooks itself, and you should be able to leverage those things to practice Spark in interactive fashion rather than using CLI. But CLI is relevant for exams like CCA 175, where exams are conducted using the CLI based interfaces. So if you are practicing for CCA 175, make sure you are comfortable with CLI as well. Otherwise, just focus on the notebook type of environments. It can be Jupyter notebooks, it can be Zeppelin, it can be Databricks notebooks, etc.